Report, trap 2 cats for TNR services coordinated with Connie Leon. Trap 4 additional cats for TNR services with Connie Leon. And then she responded to the dog bite incident at Slam Rain again. Made contact, they advised that all dogs must remain leashed when outside. Stephanie Holland will issue a certified letter requesting the dog's vaccination and registration records, as well as proof of liability insurance for the commercial property. And 325, received report of chickens on State Highway 96. Sue contacted Dale Paul and informed him that his chickens must remain secured and kept off the highway. There are roosters present throughout the village, however, village ordinance does not permit roosters. The ordinance does not clearly state the maximum number of hens allowed, but several enclosures within the sanitary district appear to have a large number of birds. Next, territory review, town race zone, parcel W722, possible land divide, creating lot 1, lot 1, lot 2, upon recommendation from the planning commission. Gary Gilson made move to not approve the land divide, second by Dan Knight. And then parcel W518, the rezone of 3 acres, Gilson made a motion to approve, second by Dan Knight. The town of Rockland, the parcel R174 territory review, Gilson made a motion to approve, second by Dan Knight. Time limit on utility permits. I informed the village board that the current utility permits do not include an expiration date. After discussion, the board agreed that a resolution should be drafted to establish a 1-year expiration period from the date of issuance for all utility permits. Gilson made a motion to table the item until next month, second by Dan Knight. Parking lot improvement project. After concerns were raised by Robert E. Lee and the village attorney regarding the board's initial decision to award the contract to Best Enterprises, it was brought to the board's attention that based on how the bid was written, the village is required to award the project to the lowest responsible bidder. Failing to do so could expose the village to potential legal action. After further discussion, the board voted to award the contract to the lowest bidder, MCC Incorporated of applicant. Gilson made a motion to award the contract, second by Van Dyke. 2026-2027 insurance policy. Following a full review of the proposed 2026-27 insurance policy, $12,933 for the commercial package blanket bond for voting machines, $350 workers' comp policy, $2,329 on, and the cyber policy, $818.80. Total for the complete package is $16,421.85. The motion to approve the policy for the next term was made by Gilson, second by Van Dyke. 3-year contract with Greenscapes. Following review of the proposed 3-year contract for the ditch cutting services, motion to approve the 3-year contract was made by Gilson, second by Van Dyke. Cell phone for village clerk. Stephanie Owen will dedicate the cell phone number 920-309-1483 to the village, and she will be getting a new personal phone number. Gilson made the motion to approve, second by Van Dyke. Confirm board of review and open book records. Board of review date Monday, June 8th, 2026, 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. And open book will be held on Monday, June 1st, 2026 from 2 to 4 p.m. Both meetings will be held at Village Hall. Outdoor warning siren with the Greenlee Fire Department. The outdoor warning siren is currently located on Greenlee Volunteer Fire Department property at 1567 Day Street. John Bradnacher, representing the fire department, informed the board that due to the department's upcoming construction project, the siren will need to be removed from the top of the building. He presented 3 options for the board's consideration. 1, remove the existing siren and reinstall it on a pole. 2, purchase and install a new siren. 3, eliminate the siren entirely. In response to a question from Stephanie Owen regarding whether an outdoor warning siren is required, John confirmed that it is not a mandated requirement. Gilson moved to table the matter until next meeting to allow time for obtaining more accurate cost estimates, second by Van Dyke. And then the town board met same night. The digester, Jesse comments on letter that Attorney Stefik has prepared. Board discusses CSM. I informed the planning commission unanimously approved the certified survey map for Hans and Monique Herzog for part of parcel W 518. The board reviews the same, motion made by Judas, second by Danny to approve. The Ryder CSM, I informed the planning commission did not approve the CSM due to the fact that Outlot 1 and Outlot 2 are landlocked. If CSM is prepared with a proposed road for the lots, then it will be reconsidered. Motion made by Judas, second by Denny, to take no action on the certified map at this time. Ditch cutting, the board discusses with Jay Grass his proposal for ditch cutting for 2026. Jay will also monitor the wild parsnip that is invasive in the ditches. Motion of Judas and second by Denny to approve 3-year contract with Greenleaf Greenscapes for ditch cutting. Brown County Joint Municipal Court, I reported there are no new citation. Donna informed she will be preparing a resolution for the board to adopt approving the increase in court costs from $38 to $48. That resolution will be on the May agenda. Treasurer's report, Sheila questions if the town would like to collect a $175 garbage assessment fee from St. Clair or waive it, as they do not get assessed a fee on their tax bill. Following discussion, motion made by Purvey, second by Danny to waive the garbage assessment. Motion carried. Invoices, Donna presents invoices 14389 through 14405, plus tax liability for a total of $33,577. Donna explains emergency funding program for snowstorm in Irma. We had expenses of $8,342 from Brown County Highway Department, but do not qualify for any emergency funding as amount needs to total over $6,131 in a 48-hour period. In reviewing the bill, there was not a 48-hour period where we accumulated over $6,131 in expenses. Motion made by Judas, second by Jenny. The insurance for town, Donna presents insurance proposal from the Horton Group. Commercial package is $4,763. Town blanket bond is $279. Workers' compensation is $1,872. Sudden protection is $1,000. Motion made by Judas and second by Danny to approve. On the board of review, Donna confirms the date of board of review on Monday, June 8th from 4 to 6, and open books is Monday, June 1st. Correspondence, Mike Hendricks, RE potholes and apple blossom. Bill notified County to take care of that. And other business, John Ritter answered questions that BC Organics has made all bill payments in the past. Bill explains they have, except for 2021 when same was waived by the town board. Bill will contact Delaware Consulting to set up the road review for 2026. Donna and myself have been working with Devin Yoder to get an updated maps printed that indicate the proper zoning. After maps are updated, we'll have the maps printed and displayed at the village hall. That's all I have for that.
Any questions?
For the zoning maps, can we get them on the website also?
We will. So we have the most recent updated ones on there now, I believe. One that separates the village of Greenleaf and the town of Redstone, where the one beforehand was all but on one. So now there should be 2 separate ones on the website, but once we get this all up to date, get all the new rezones on it, I believe since 2018, once we get that all updated, we'll get that on the website as well.
Motion and a second to approve, all in favor say aye. his property in the town of Rockland.
I see Dirk is here, he can explain to you what he's looking for there.
Yeah, so I got, bought a property, right now the driveway comes out of County PP in Rockland, it comes, basically there's an easement on an adjacent property to get to ours, and the driveway is over a quarter mile long to get back to the house. It's a Dan Herber property, is what it was, right next to the airstrip. And I was looking at some maps and I noticed Birch Creek looked like there was, like a right of way on Birch Creek, actually butted up to the lot line of my new property. But there's no road going to it right now, so I was wondering if there's a way to get access to it, because that would make my driveway only like 500 feet long, coming off of that direction. I didn't know if there's that right of way section off of Birch Creek, like the accessibility of that.
Pardon?
On the east end,
On the east
right,
side?
Jeanette, yes,
Yeah, go back, right past.
past Jeanette.
Costa's.
That road used to go through there.
Whoa,
Yeah. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I know there's a, that was proposed road years ago,
Yeah.
but it never got put all the way in.
Right.
So there is an easement, there is a, driveway that could be put in there, because it is, it was dedicated to the town, but we never took it over until the improvements were done on it. Cause that came right along that side there, that it is a, town road that goes in there, so.
there's no road there right now, it's
I
just
know,
like dirt,
it was a proposed road,
right.
and until the developer, the landowner, puts it in, it just becomes just, dedicated property that the town has. But if the landowner wants to put a driveway or a road through there, then it would be up to them to put it in.
On the section that is town property, and that's fine to do, how do we get permission to do that?
Well, you contact Sean and you go over and you go with the 70-foot right of way, put your road in at the road specs,
I'd have to put the road in,
Yeah,
it wouldn't just, I couldn't just like start the driveway there, continue, I'd have to actually have like the city road up to the lot line,
yeah,
I'd have to pay
you
for it.
yeah.
Cause right now there's a driveway that goes partially up and then turns off to the house to the right. So I don't know, did they pay to put like the driveway in there? Then I'd be going on their driveway that they paid for. That's it's kinda weird.
We'd have to take a look at it once, see once how we can work it out.
Would she have to pay for part of that upgrade of that road?
No. I mean, because for one thing, it was never deemed as a road, it was never put in a road, they put it in as a driveway. So they never brought it to the town to get the specs done. So they just put the road, driveway in without notifying the town. So it should be, if it's gonna be for more than one property in there, then it should be brought up to town service. So whether you can get, is it Janet Koski?
Yeah, I believe that's Janet Koski, that lives on the end. Yeah.
Between the two of them, we have to try to get that straightened out. And then we can meet with them, Sean, maybe you can go down there and meet with them and see what can be worked out.
I wouldn't think they might have invested any money into doing that, they've been living with it the way it is.
Yeah,
That'd be a hard sell.
and that would be something that, I guess, you usually don't have two driveways, or one driveway, for two people, you usually don't have that. But if it's town road, then it's, it's dedicated to the town, it's just a matter of having it put in to make it a town road. And that's one thing the town doesn't do,
It's actually in the village there now, right?
you know?
That's village here.
Yeah,
So from what I can tell, it's probably about 250 feet unimproved plus a little turnaround on it. This one's, I don't wanna call it a key turnaround, it's very different shape.
well, there's a teardrop, you know, teardrop in with the specs for a cul-de-sac, and probably when it was drawn there, the specs weren't developed at that time, was that you have to have a 90-foot radius cul-de-sac, one way or teardrop, or,
80 foot, yeah.
or,
I believe it's 80 foot radius for a turnaround. I believe our book says 80.
But it's, you know, for a while, when we were putting 60 foot, well, the snowplows couldn't even turn around. Because we couldn't make the radius, they had to turn back up, so.
I thought what Rick had told me previously is it was an 80 foot radius, that's what it usually takes for vehicles to get turned around.
Well, all the roads that we've done, that we put the cul-de-sacs in are 90 foot.
90, okay.
But, York's up on top of the ledge there, what is that? Bullback Lane,
Okay.
you know, Archie Circle, those are all 90 foot.
Okay.
So yeah, you're gonna have to,
So do you want him to bring it to the village board, or?
well, I think we should meet up, go out there and take a look at it, once you talk to Jan. I think that's the biggest thing, find out all the information on what can be done and what can't be done.
Okay.
You know, if she says that, you know, she doesn't want it, what are you gonna do? You know, it's still proposed town road, and if he would wanna put the road all the way through the town specs, that's up to him. If she wants to allow him to extend the driveway, her driveway off to it. You know. I think we gotta get over her, and get all the information that we got, and we can bring it.
So you want me to try to set up a meeting with her up there? With you and I, we want Dirk with us, I'm sure.
You can explain, you know,
You can explain to her what you're looking for, what you're trying to get done.
easier to talk it over with everybody there.
I would agree.
Our next item, review and discuss a request from Dave Vanwart to review ordinance to adjust setbacks, require a large setback for a larger building.
I think what he's looking for is, like, the larger your building goes, the larger your setback is. So it kind of explains on there, what is it, like a 200-foot setback for 15,000 square foot. 100 for 15,000 square foot, a 45,000 square foot building would be like a 300-foot setback, and so on and so forth. The larger the building is, the more the setback is.
And that's from a different zone. Right?
Right. I think what you're trying to do, Dave, is to like, houses and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, existing houses, and I just would put them numbers down just to do some math. You know, I'm not saying we'd use them numbers or have to use them numbers, but just something to start a discussion with. And most of it, like I said, from houses or different, properties that zone something different. You know, some got zone commercial or industrial, and, residential property was it butted up to it, or even across the street. Give the residential person some protection, so somebody is in a building, you know, a huge building right next to them.
So would this exclude barns and stuff like that?
Yeah, not agriculture, I would say more industrial, commercial type work.
So basically only for industrial zoning?
Up for discussion. I mean, I don't know if there's a better way to word it or a different way to word it. I was thinking ag would be excluded,
Because they have land.
because that would be zone agricultural.
How many acres total is there?
Pardon?
How many acres total?
It wouldn't matter. I mean, so if you start building a building, if you want to build a building, you know, I just put down, I started at 15,000. That's a good sized building, but small for some type of industry. So you wouldn't matter how many acres you wanted to put it on, just like you would stay enough distance away from an existing parcel.
So if you had a 2 acre lot, which is a residential, then you want to put a 1,500 square foot building on.
15,000.
50,000 square foot building, you need to be 100 feet off of the lot line.
That's what I'm understanding.
Yeah, that's the number I put down. I just had to start somewhere just to do the math.
And then I mean, right away from the road to,
I put that down too. Is that possible, or would we just go for like a property?
just something we have to discuss.
Yeah. I thought it was from center line to the road.
I'm usually from the right way,
No, all of our setbacks are from the right of way.
not this.
Highways from center line to the road. State highways from center line to the road. That's what the state.
Is your right of way.
Well,
If that's where your right of way is at, yeah,
But
but
then you
our
set.
setbacks are measured from the right of way, not the center of the road.
state highways are 110 from center line or 50 from the right of way, whichever is greater.
Right. That's what I said, it's from the center.
Or,
But in something like this, if we would adopt the hunt, say it was 100 feet, it would be from the right of way, which would be more than what the state setback is. And I think all you're trying to do, Dave, is just get discussion going on, right? Just so that we can talk about it is all what,
Exactly.
is what we're trying to get done.
Right. And say, the numbers I just used to do some math, you say the building was one size, and then you wanted to go with a much larger building, the setback would get larger. Instead of having one number, and all of a sudden you want to put a really big building in, what that might be, I don't know. But, then you'd have to stay a little further away from an existing residential property.
Are there any towns that have any setbacks according to side building sizes?
That I would have to check into, I don't know right offhand.
I think that.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either, but you never know,
Right.
you know, might be some cities that have it too, find out.
Right, I would have to look into it.
So-
Yeah, I like what they.
Right now, for the zoning code, in the sanitary district, you have a 25 feet from right of way, 10 feet side yard, 15 foot rear yard, and a 30 foot, on a side corner lot. And then outside the sanitary district, it's 50, 25, 25, and 50. So all roads are 50 right now, and 25 from the rear and side yards. And that's per code, for the SPs.
But this would not have anything to do with a residential or exclusive A? Is that,
I figured not.
It sounds like more like the industrial to business zoning.
you have to look at the setback for industrial? and
That's what I just read.
That's the industrial one?
Yes, because that's what makes the most sense for what he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you looked at it in the town of Holland, where they put the landfill in, you know, some of the houses that were there, you know, the landfill isn't up to them yet, but where they fenced off, right on the property line. Kind of tacky on them, but that's what they did. But at some point in time, is the landfill gonna come right up to that, close to the property too? I don't know if you'd even be able to control a landfill type like that, but it wasn't that many years ago when they were looking for a landfill in the town of Wrightstown back there on Partridge Road. They had all the land rock and stuff. I don't know if we could, when they bought Jerry Van Dyke
Hillary was.
Jerry's.
It's a lot of tall there. I'm asking her, so I'm gonna say, hey, that road should have been heat on the road, and try to go last, that's all. That was where, yeah, Bodie,
Right.
Jerry. The other was over, on the water now. Business over there.
But then they were gonna put around the, fairgrounds up there after that, I think we gotta find out from the other municipalities what they have for industrial setbacks and.
We could be a trendsetter.
What we got,
I mean,
We could be the first.
from what I've seen, it's very similar to what you guys have.
what we have already.
Yeah.
But that's not, you know, they don't say what size building it is.
A lot of times it's a percentage of coverage also on the land. And one of your examples went out to 2,000 foot setback. I would say if we have 5 lots that are over a quarter acre long, which is 1,320 feet, that would be a lot of lots bigger than that. So you've actually got a setback bigger than most lots in the area.
And the numbers are just for math purposes. I'm not saying we use them numbers, I just did it for math, just so we could see how it snowballed, the bigger the building got, the bigger the setback. Because right now it's a standard setback I see for, you know, whatever building might be. I didn't see anything that said a size of building.
So right now we have 4%, right?
Yes.
For a residential lot.
That's for ag residential. No, we had,
Yeah.
industrial park area,
Yeah.
designated industrial park area. Then I don't know if this would blend in nice. I think this is more for if somebody's gonna build an industry in the middle of the country,
Right.
somewhere that
So-
gives all the
Yeah.
privacy.
Right.
I understand that, right? Like,
Right.
if you had 1,000 acres that was gonna be industrial park, this would never obviously work, because you wouldn't get much on it.
No.
But as far as planting industrial buildings out in mile blocks, just randomly, this would.
So what I see more often instead of something like this is more, you can have 25% impervious area, which is your pavement, your buildings, any runoff, anything that's a hard surface that the rain won't run off. Like grass and all that is not included in that surface.
So like your driveways and paved area and.
That was the impervious.
So the parking lot is not part of that then?
No, it isn't part of it.
It is part of it, so the full park, blacktop parking lot is part of the building part.
And then you go up to 25.
So,
No, that's still impervious. It's right.
Once you make it like this, hard surface, it changes.
That gravel is impervious, for most of that.
Just like that, station on 96,
one's a little different.
Well, what range are they?
I'll have to,
I mean, oh, I know you.
I've got a good memory, but not that.
Well, what, you know,
No, I mean, I put it, 7,000 square feet on it. You know, so that's probably just kind of try to get it out at 25%. Okay.
Because, buildings we got rid of the fuel for your brother. Always a setbacks on that stuff.
Well, that's
Ordinance.
that's at 25 or 50 feet.
From the state road, it's from the center line here.
I understand that.
Yeah, that's just whatever that was.
Yeah, that's exact setback, so.
well, same setbacks as well.
Right.
Because I know the planning commission members were complaining like with, Festival Foods, they got their building set back, and all the parking's in the front, off the road. They're complaining they wanted the building up close to the sidewalk. I said, why do you want to, put the building back and put the parking lot there in front? Well, the people that are walking down the sidewalk have to walk further. How many people walk down the sidewalk to go to that grocery store? I mean, they're having feuds with this stuff all over the store.
Okay.
Business from the floor?
Yeah, I got the reason why I'm here today is the 15 acres that used to be the Ridge Point Supper Club over its lot, W107-1. It's right on the Fox River. It's 15 acres, and I just wanted to see what you guys would allow there. Currently, there's a couple dilapidated buildings on the property. So before I do any, I'm just doing some preliminary, exploring on what could be done on that property, if anything.
Do you know what the zoning is currently?
AR. And I was just seeing if possibly the zoning would change. Right now, there's one single driveway driving down into that parcel.
Are you talking right across the road from where Ridge Point was?
The, well,
The Ridge Point
the old
and then there was the Supper Club.
along the river.
Yeah, okay.
Peninsula. One of the things that was
Used a little before my time.
checked is to get this was probably 5 years ago, was the sanitary permit. That was one of the big things that they were having trouble getting it perk or whatever type of sanitary permit that they had to get. It wasn't, I say it that the DNR was having, or giving this guy a hard time with getting either a mountain or holding tanks or anything.
Yeah.
And that was one of the big drawbacks that they had there. I mean,
Makes sense.
that used to be a 3-story, supper club.
Yeah, I looked at, I found some old pictures online, I was, probably, honestly, I'm just guessing, probably 15,000 square foot, 20,000 square foot, it looked pretty big.
Yeah, it was, and they pretty much had kitchens on every floor there. They served food, there was living quarters upstairs. People came, they had a dock out front, and people would come down the river and have supper there. That was it.
The rail cars there, so I think there was, I read that there was a rail car there as well.
I don't know if those came down after a while.
So yeah, I guess the big thing is seeing what you guys would allow there. I was thinking maybe a couple, maybe luxury lots on the property, maybe closer to the road. I guess I don't know what you allow. I don't know if you allow shared driveways. If it's something I could do, if you can do something with the sanitary, is it something where we could do a shared driveway, or would it have to be like a condo development where it's one parcel and then you could have the rest of the separate condos?
I was gonna say condo's probably the best use because you're not gonna get the required road permit
gonna have to have water,
Yeah. I hope there should be
and
water.
then you're probably setbacks and stuff for Brown County, for close to the river and close to that, little Plum Creek, that little comes in the back there.
Yeah, it looks a little marshy on one side of it.
The one side and would be the west side there,
Yeah.
so.
Just down the road is, some water and everything.
I would think Wrightstown has some water pretty close to that, since there's development right to the south of it.
So to bring water from Wrightstown, they're almost gonna try to force you to annex.
Yeah.
And they can't annex it, cause you can't split the town.
Yep.
So it can't be annexed.
Yeah, I think, well, I was talking to Gary Castor, and he had said, just because I know him through some other business dealings with the property I purchased, and he was just saying, oh, if you get the neighbors all that want to get annexed, but before anything like that, I thought I'd come here and talk to you guys, because it'd probably be a little more advantageous.
We went through all of that with their already. I cannot be annexed into the village right now.
Okay.
Yes, it can.
The village of Wrightstown is actually one lot away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joint property, they could annex in, he could annex in, Kozlowski could annex in, all the way to Apple Creek, which would shut the town of Wrightstown to annex across the river.
Actually, I'm looking at the map right now, Fox Shores, which is the plat that I did several years ago, goes right up to the property just before this.
Yep.
So there's one owned by Taylor, and then this property.
And then Kozlowski's owned it to Apple, so that excavator. And those lots are all for sale,
Yeah.
so
What, those lots
that's a
there,
good idea.
how close to the city hookup or municipality hookup are we?
They're
From Imperial Heights,
not
So-
closer, right, so.
Well, Wrightstown is, they own that whole steep slope there as parkland, as part of the Fox Shores plat that was done, 09, 08.
when you're coming from Imperial, I don't know where the city limits Imperial.
Doesn't matter, Wrightstown was where you get the water from, if you do public water. I would definitely look into doing wells for two, or however units you want, shared wells.
Just shared well agreement and.
I would talk to the owner to make sure it's something that they'll love there.
Yeah.
They had, there was a well there, there is a well, actually, when you come in your driveway there, I see you got a chain across it, whatever it is, you got a chain across it now, but that first house that was on the right side, on the east side there when you come in,
Yeah.
it's all tore down now.
Yeah, they just tore it down, I drove, because I was just looking at the property, and I was intrigued by it.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I actually looked at that other lot a couple of years ago before the current people bought it.
Cause there's a well there, and then there's a well down by the supper club down there.
I think I saw the well cap when I walked.
Yeah, I know there's one on each one. So you would probably have to have the water tested to see, how good it is and what it is, but it should have been good, but.
Yeah. So you're thinking next steps of action would be talking to the DNR and Brown County
Yeah,
before coming back here and close anything?
the biggest,
Do you know if there's been a wetland delineation done?
No, I do not.
Okay. Your biggest things are your setbacks, if there's wetlands, and just seeing if there's what buildable space is there.
Yeah.
And then maybe sitting down with a surveyor or somebody, just kind of laying out what might be available for you there before you get too hard into it with money.
Yeah.
cause a young guy had bought that. A young guy had bought that, and he had planned on tearing down that little, like, guest house that's next to the restaurant, the supper club. And he was the one that had the trouble getting the perk and being able to put some type of, system in.
And maybe that's why it's back for sale.
Yeah,
It's a good reason.
yeah.
What'd you say your name was? Mike Boye, B-O-Y-E-A.
Yeah, I have a question. My name is Juan Kessler. I'm a resident of Wrightstown. I have heard that there's a possible data center proposed to be put up in the Wrightstown area. And I'd like to know if there's any truth behind that, and if so, why?
As far as I'm aware, there's nothing that has been brought to us, nothing's been proposed to either the village or the Wrightstown, the village of Greenleaf or the town of Wrightstown.
Okay.
So as far as I'm aware, it's all hearsay, it's all rumors yet.
I just,
Nobody has contacted me as far as that land, which you're talking about on Shannon Road.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the main area where they're looking at.
Yeah. Supposedly you already purchased property.
Was never brought to, as far as me, was never brought to me as far as getting it rezoned, looking at putting in a data center, nothing there. One of the large landowners that's there, very upset that this rumor got started. And they said right out that if other people wanna buy, they're gonna have to build around them. They will not sell the property. So, just like I told 26, I said, there is no proposal for that land to be put into a data center. They did come before us to have it rezoned. As far as what people say, you can take it from there.
And that's-
Because it's not.
But if it gets annexed into the village, then it can.
But the people have to sell their land to this company, and then they have to, propose it to the village of Redstone.
Because they're,
Which, one of the large landowners said that never happened, not their property. So once that happens, it has to be contiguous to hook on to the village of Redstone, which it would. So it would be an area, one area, and then you would have the dividing property owners, and then if you have someone, and they wouldn't be able to get it rezoned, it's not contiguous with the whole property.
It is on the village of Wrightstown agenda to talk about that.
Pardon?
It is on the agenda for the village of Wrightstown. Data center stuff is on their agenda.
I have no idea, I
Yep.
looked at their agenda, but, that land is all in the town of Wrightstown.
Mm-hmm.
So, for that land to be rezoned, it still has to come before us.
If it's sold, it doesn't have to, right?
Not just sold, no,
No.
they can sell it
Yeah, if they sell it, then they can do whatever, they can annex it in right after that.
if they want.
So I guess from what I'm hearing is that they're looking, like they would purchase the Peterson, the 180 acres of Peterson selling, and then right behind that, and then they'll build a data center, and then they'll develop the residential at the same time.
Well,
From what I've been told.
The landowners that are on the backside will not sell it on that second part.
So you know that.
So it's pretty much not gonna happen.
Who wants that?
The other thing I'm gonna say is those those two power lines that run through there.
Yep. That will matter to data center. They want
That's
that.
straight voltage.
That's what they want. They want the power lines.
Yeah, but the straight voltage off those lines will interfere with your system. Take your computer, you go under the power lines, you try to use it, so to screw it up.
Yeah.
If it don't like it all out completely. Plus, they cannot tie into those power lines there.
See, I was told differently.
I would think they could put a substation there.
To there, to get power.
I
They
think,
can't tie into those power lines.
And the other thing too is, with being that close to the high school, I don't know what the setbacks are for a data center. I find it pretty hard to believe that the village of Wrightstown would even consider annexing that to have a data center put that close to that high school.
when I looked up,
The Peterson property connects right to the village of Wrightstown high school.
from my understanding, they can come up with their own setbacks. The land or the village or whatever can actually they can make it from 500 feet to 5,000 feet. They set the setbacks they want. So,
Well, that's up to them,
yeah.
as far as we're concerned if it stays in the town of Wrightstown, it has to go through the whole process of the rezoning and everything at first, so.
Pulling in all the restrictions.
But it all depends on the landowner.
Right.
If there's no sale, there's no garrison.
Same thing we did with EC Organics. Well, what, we have to start here before they could do anything.
Are there any ordinances or moratoriums on the town to prevent anything like that from happening? Like they did in Manitowoc, they put an 18-month moratorium.
Manitowoc had county zoning. Town of Wrightstown has their own zoning.
That's the difference. Around county, the towns have their own zoning. Counties, other counties, zoning whole community.
County ordinances are very vague, where the town of Wrightstown and the village of Reedick has their own set of ordinances which are way stricter than the counties.
Now, the other thing that I heard, it's going through the state right now, is the state is gonna mandate that these data centers have to supply their own power.
That's not what we're hearing.
Yeah, that we're hearing totally different.
I just,
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, yeah, no, I get it. That's, from what we're hearing and what we're being told by you guys and other people, that it's totally opposite.
so, the only, what is Microsoft down there in Milwaukee? That's not a data center, that's what they call it.
Warehouse?
Data, oh,
It's on their software,
it's all software that,
computer software. But I, you know, like I contacted some of the people over there and they're just saying, there's no way they're selling it, they're not gonna sell it at all. And in order for it to get rezoned, you know, they would, in order to keep not rezoned, but to get annexed into the village, you know, you would have to, like I said before, you would have to have a continuous area to do it, and for some reason, if somebody does not wanna sell, it's not gonna happen, because they're not gonna get it like.
The 108 acres that Peterson owns would be contingent, or that's continuous with Wrightstown.
That's already in the village.
That's
That's the one that's already.
That's already in the village, or whatever.
Scott Peterson and,
That Geiger.
Pat Goody. That was annexed back in long time ago.
Oh, is it?
That's village already.
That village
There's
land?
property to next to that,
Yeah, and there's a very,
yeah. And that's, like I said,
And Garrett's is really.
Yeah, we have.
Garrett's is really- I think it's all,
No.
so, well, that's the thing, I can tell, that's gonna be really great.
yeah.
You know, I said to them, they were the two heads for like 5-star and what's the other one that's TS or something like that. And, yeah, they were together with the guy who does the planning for fiber optic and stuff, for Cellcom. And I said, well, when are you gonna get these ditches done? When is this gonna happen? I said, you got stones this big, this high, laying in the ditches. I said, we come to cut grass. I said, that water's gonna hit them, and you're gonna be, it's gonna wreck them. I said, you know, this has to be, those stones and big rocks gotta be taken out of there, and then landscape. We don't plan on doing it for 4 months. I said, for 4 months? We're in May, June, July, August, September, we're not gonna do nothing with those ditches until September or October. I said, That's not acceptable. I said, that's bull. I said,
Yes, because.
we gotta cut this grass. This grass gotta get cut, and you're leaving all this junk and the ridges and stuff. I said, I said to him, I said, you know, this has to be done now. Well, we don't have our landscapers purchased or, what do you call it, contracted until like October. I said, well, then you better get a backhoe, and you better get this ditches cleaned out, the stones out, and get it, you know, so the water drains. I said, and everything done, so that when we come to cut grass, I said, you know,
Otherwise, you're gonna see them.
no,
And then we'll have to do it.
no,
That's a nice part of waiting for them.
Yeah.
Right, oh, we do.
yeah. You know, and like up by Joe, up by your place, can you imagine coming over top of the rocks up there and cutting that grass? Or even, you know, just like you said, once grass is over the top, it's without.
For what it's worth, last year, when Michaels was in there, we did one last year for the road was done.
Yeah.
Past my place.
Yeah.
They did that before the road, they started doing construction on the road, and they didn't get there till right before the school fly to fix the ditches.
The landscaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I told him, this was, oh, we had it all ready. I seen that day, and I said, you know, this is not acceptable. I said, you know, and then they went down Lake Road and some of the other roads, and they just, wherever there was a big stone, they just pulled it out. Right in the ditch. I don't know. It's getting pretty frustrating. You know, sure, we want fiber optic, we want communication on the stuff of it, but, you know, on the enterprise.
Oh, really?
I don't understand why you can't have a crew. Yeah, once the fiber is hooked up and it's all meshed in, why? Because going into the yards, you know, they can do that at any time. But in the ditches, why can't we have a crew follow right behind it? He said, well, we don't have a contract until such and such date.
Can I make a motion to adjourn the meeting and the conversation after the meeting? No, I was discussing.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Just so it's not.
This is the Garrett strip. Yeah.